Welcome to the Southwestern PA Business Podcast with the Southwest Regional Chamber of Commerce. We are here with Upper St. Clair Public Television. We have a great guest on here for you today. We have Face2Face Healing with Karen and Linda, and we're going to introduce them in just a moment so you can learn more about this fantastic organization, what they're doing out there, and how much they're helping. So, hi Karen, hi Linda, how are you today?
We're doing well, Mandy, thank you.
Well, Mandy.
And thank you so much for coming on. I know that you guys are both longtime members of the Chamber of Commerce, and you do great things out there. And Karen, I'm going to have you get started. Tell me a little bit about your background with Face2Face Healing and what it does.
I am the founder of the organization. I'm a nurse by background. I went through cancer in 2012. I started the organization in 2014. As you see, my face is a little bit different than most, and my scars are visible. So I was looking for somewhere for support for myself. I couldn't find anything, so that's why I started it. And we've kind of continued to grow. So it's actually, we incorporated in 2014. I'm very excited to say this is like the 9th year. We'll be
amazing.
going up on our 10th year and in August, so next year. But very excited. And then Linda, we pulled on board. She's also a cancer survivor, and just very excited to be able to support cancer patients. So our mission is building a community through support for cancer individuals or individuals dealing with cancer, as well as those with an altered self-image. And we do that through different services. We have nurse navigation, so I provide resources and collaborate with the healthcare professionals. We have clinical counseling. We also have stress debriefing that Adriana provides, financial support, patient care packages is really exciting, and then also support groups. So
you do a lot.
yes.
So you do different work while they're being treated and after as well?
Yes, so we love to be contacted when we learn about the diagnosis. We can actually walk with them through their diagnosis or through their journey, because as you know, if you don't understand all the medical complexities, there's like a medical maze. So we try to help support them. The doctors do a great job and the nurses do a great job, but sometimes it's just good to have that connection to the community resources that are available for them.
Well, and I'm sure it's a mental aspect too. The doctors and nurses are obviously busy. They're trying, they show their care and they walk them through everything. But that support, I think, is so important when it comes to mindset and moving forward and what to expect, that they can't get to all those details all the time.
Correct.
And Linda, how did you get involved?
Well, I've known Karen for a while and knew of her organization, thought it was a wonderful organization. Back in January of 2021, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And anyone who's had any type of cancer realizes that it definitely changes your perspective on life. And so at that time, after I got through my treatment and surgeries and everything that goes along with it, I decided that working a job wasn't the most important thing in the world. There were much more important things that needed to be done. And so I've kind of shifted gears and I'm doing more volunteer work, trying to do what I can to help charities, particularly any charities that have to do with cancer of any form, not just breast cancer. But so a few months ago, Karen asked me if I would like to be on the board of directors for Face2Face Healing, and I jumped at the opportunity. So that's where we are. I'm just getting started, kind of getting my feet wet. Not quite sure what I'm doing, but Karen will help me.
She's doing a great job, and I think the biggest thing is getting the word out about who we are so we actually can help cancer patients. We've been collaborating with healthcare providers in Pittsburgh, but also Washington and those surrounding areas. We've connected with McKeesport or McKees Rocks, and then also even in Erie. So we get calls from different places, and then so I'm not going to say no to anybody who's actually looking for help. And kind of like Linda said, you get to a point when after your cancer journey, when it's over, you realize that your perspective has changed, and I want to be able to give back my talents. I felt that, getting through this whole thing was supposed to teach me something, and so I don't want to keep all that information to myself. I want to be able to share that with other people, because I'm finding that a lot of people don't know the things that we know.
And Karen, I didn't know you in 2012 when you went through everything. Linda, I did, and I have to say, I have never seen anyone so positive, jumping around, never slowed down at all when it came to her cancer journey. I mean, so positive, but I know that comes with you almost hiding it from everyone else, what you're going through and coming out of it.
Yeah, you do. I mean, and people ask how you're doing, but they don't really want to know. I mean, there are some things that no, they don't need to know. They don't want to know. And believe me, I had my down times during my treatment and everything that I went through. But those days, I just stayed home and curled up in a ball for a day.
Well, and it's traumatic. I mean, mentally, it's traumatic to go
is.
through it. It's scary for a long time. So.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's like you go through they talk about the 7 stages of grieving. You go through all of those stages. You start out with denial and oh my God, this can't be happening. What's going on? They must be wrong. They mixed up my test with somebody else. I mean, you say all these things to yourself because you can't believe that it's happening to you. And you gradually get to the point where you accept it and say, okay, well, time to put my big girl pants on and fight this. And
big girl pants you wore.
And big girl pants I wore.
And so right now you're clear, everything is going well.
Correct.
And I mean, cancer's so common. My grandmother, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. She had it twice, beat it both times, but it was hard for the family, especially I was a little kid. So definitely hard on the family, and everybody around you worries too. So you being so positive and uplifting, I'm sure that you brought those fears down a little bit just by being like that. But I'm sure the days were harder even after.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, there's still days that aren't great. There's unfortunately lasting side effects from the treatment.
Correct.
In order to kill the cancer, it unfortunately kills a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't think most people realize that some of these side effects never go away. But again, you don't talk about it. You don't.
Well, except for today.
Except for today, yeah. But for the most part, you just kind of move on and get on with your life and try to forget about it most of the time, and you just have to keep living. You can't quit.
And so, Karen, Face2Face Healing, with your ongoing support post journey, let's call it. What's your best ways to support somebody who's, maybe clear of it or coming out of it, or it's been 5 years? Are you still supporting those people 5 years down the road?
I support anybody in their journey. So if they need, because as well as I do, if you go for a test, that's a bad thing. So it brings things back. Okay, so I'm having a follow-up scan today. So oh my gosh, what if I have cancer again? So sometimes that's a difficult thing. And so, Adriana does a great job with counseling, assisting them through that. And we provide support. And I think the other thing that makes us unique is each of us, either on the board or that are staff, they're cancer survivors or greatly touched by cancer. So that makes us unique, and the ability to understand where they are in their journey and to walk them through. And like she said, we don't tend to talk about the bad things, but when patients are facing that, it's creating a safe space for them to be able to talk about it, because they don't, their families don't understand. I remember going through it, and, I had a difficult time with my, the way of my appearance and the way I looked, and my mom would say, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I'm like, "Mom, you have to say that. You're my mother." And she's like, "I don't have to say that." But you know what? It's until you get to the point where you believe it inside, because, we're more than our face, we're more than our scars. And some people have scars on, that are hidden, and some people don't. Some people are visible. So it's really being that acceptance and helping them get through that, get to that point.
Well, and I think people have a hard enough time
Yes.
accepting themselves as they are with nothing going on,
Correct.
to let alone have something that, is something you're seeing every day.
And,
And you are beautiful. And
thank
don't
you.
ever think that you're not, because I've never for a minute doubted that for a
Oh,
second.
well, thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
And I think it's just getting to the point, and like Linda did through the whole journey, is staying positive. Having a positive mindset is so, so important, because if you're not being, if you're not looking for what you're grateful for, if you're not looking for the goodness, looking for, thank goodness for the caregivers and the nurses and the doctors that have their skills. If you didn't look at that, what you're grateful for, and sometimes it may be one thing, but it helps you get through that journey a little bit easier. And journaling is so important. Adriana talks about this with the patients, because it's one day in time. It doesn't mean it's going to be like this forever. And I think that's what we
very
have to
important.
remind people. It's a lot of days, don't get me wrong, but it's one day in time. And as you move forward, and then you look at like where your journey, where you were when you start journaling, you realize that I come maybe halfway, and I still have a ways to go. But it's marking that progress as you go, to see like, oh my gosh, so I can't believe that I was there and now I'm here. And so it's a great way to check on yourself, so to speak. But yes.
And so, what's new? What are you guys doing new this year?
Oh, we're a lot of things new. Very, very excited. We have a couple new board members. Of course, Linda's one of them. And we're looking at doing Christmas gifts, or I should say holiday gifts, and probably in December. So you will give you information and you'll learn more about that. But that's to go to the cancer patients. And oftentimes, the financial toxicity that we face, we don't really have the money for our children or to get Christmas gifts. So we give them the opportunity to actually come. We have a new satellite office, and it's at the CNX building headquarters. And we're excited about that. So now we have a physical space that we can actually have our counseling there. We can actually meet patients, their caregivers. We can actually also meet with potential funders, those type of things. So it's really exciting. We can have our board meetings there. So we're excited about having the Christmas
Having a
or the
space
holiday,
there,
yeah, and be able to distribute the holiday gifts there. And then CNX and also Range Resources have offered to volunteer for those things, which is really, really nice to be able to have that. Then we also have coming up, we're looking at, for Giving Tuesday, we want to have donations, and those help with the financial, we're able to get some gifts donated, the toys and stuff donated, but oftentimes we find children that are a little bit older, like teenagers, they want clothes. So that money will go towards the clothes for those teenagers.
Oh yeah, the clothes are important.
Oh, yes. So
I remember those days.
yes. Being able to provide gift cards, those type of things for food, and sometimes gas, for traveling, because some people have to go very far to be able to go to the Pittsburgh
treatment.
hospital. Yes. Same thing in Washington. They have to travel from Ohio or in West Virginia to get to where they need to be for treatment. What else am I forgetting? The 50 over 50.
Yes, tell me more about that. That's
Yes.
very exciting.
So Linda was talking to me about being involved in the 50 over 50 project, and I'm going to let her talk about that a little bit, and then she introduced me to that. So
Yeah.
yes.
Well, Tracy'd been after me to do this for 2 years. And I kept saying, oh my God, that whole imposter syndrome, because she said, it's influential women of Pittsburgh over 50. And I'm like, so.
She's a legend in herself. She just doesn't say it.
It's the whole imposter syndrome. It's like, nobody cares about me. And so she kept, I don't want to say badgering me, but she kept after me. And finally we were out one night and, had a couple drinks, and it was like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Fine, twist my arm.
Okay, fine. Well, it turned out to be a fabulous experience. She talked to me beforehand for quite some time about what I wanted to portray, and I just said, I think what I want to portray is strength and just winning. And
I like that.
yeah, and just because I won my cancer battle, and that's what I wanted to portray: joy and yeah, and strength, and so that's what we came up with.
Empowerment.
Yeah, and that's what we came up with. So one of my pictures, I'm in a very large. Very large, like dark pink dress, and she wanted me. She goes, let's try and twirl, and I'm like, okay.
Linda, do you twirl?
I apparently do twirl, yes. So she said, grab your dress, and I want you to twirl, and she started clicking away, and we ended up with a great shot. I was talking to Karen, and I knew that Tracy was down to like the last few spots. And I talked to Karen about it, and I said, oh, you should do this. You should call her and see if she has any spots left. I knew the last time I talked to her, she only had like 2 or 3 left. I said, I'm not sure if she's filled them or not, but you need to do this. And she was also hesitant, as I was.
Very.
Lady,
I know.
you already shine in person.
But I'm glad that I talked you
Yes,
into it.
absolutely.
And you had a great time too.
Yes, I think the thing for me is my appearance. I've always held back. I don't really like pictures or videos of myself, and this whole year has been a transformation for me. And the logo that I have is actually a butterfly, and it's about transforming. And so when we were talking, like again, about what I wanted to portray, it was transformation, resiliency, of course, strength, all those things. And I wanted to be able to like show that, yes, it was a difficult journey, but I'm here. And the second part of my life is going to be just even better than the first part of my life. And so when we did the pictures, and it was just like amazing what she captured. And I asked, can I bring my son in for a couple pictures? And it was very nice to have him in a couple pictures as well, because it's been a very long time. I usually end up taking the pictures. I don't really have pictures of both of us.
Sure.
So it was really nice to capture and have a couple pictures with my son, and it was just so much fun. The environment was so light and free, and she had the fan going, and she had some charcuterie and like snacks. Yes, it was
music playing.
yeah.
And,
Yes, it
That
was very
sounds fun.
laid back and very inviting, and not by any means threatening or feel like I wanted to run and hide, so to speak. She just like took her time and talked you through each of the portraits, and okay, well, let's do this, and capture the most beautiful pictures. So I'm really excited. The gallery event, the 50 over 50 project, is going to be at the 3rd Street Gallery on November the 10th, and we're very excited to actually be there. And there's still some tickets available, but she's going to portray, and then there's going to be some like there's some vendors, and there's sponsors, of course, to help make it happen. So we're just really excited to be part of it, and to share our experience, because just because you're 50 doesn't mean, or over 50 or over, doesn't mean that your life is done.
No.
That second part of your life.
There's no doubt there.
Yes, people need to know that, hey, we're
Vibrant and
yes.
shining, and I think at your peak. I mean, you guys are running like 20-year-olds, but with like ambition and drive. It's a different mindset there.
Now, physically, may not be able to walk as a 20-year-old.
Running days are
However,
over, but yeah.
But yes, we definitely have the mindset. We definitely have that drive. So,
Very good.
but yes.
And
that's
they're, the project, the 50 over 50 project, is also partnering with Face2Face
Correct.
Healing. We are the
Charity partner.
Charity partners.
Wonderful.
So 10% of each ticket goes to Face2Face Healing, and there'll be a 50-50 raffle there also at the event, and people can make donations. So we're really excited. And I think the thing is, the other part of me being excited about this is that it helps us get the word out about who we are and what we're doing. And so one of the things that when Tracy and I were talking, and I asked her if she had a charity that she was working with, it's really about empowerment and empowering and moving forward through the adversity, through the difficult times. That's really what she wanted to capture. So,
well, and I think you're doing a great job, and
Thank you.
you know, I think it's a hard thing. It's hard for even you guys to do when you're meeting people who you know the struggle, you know how hard it's been, and facing that.
Correct.
But then finding something to find the positivity in it and making them feel uplifted. So, you know, I think you're doing a great job of helping the people who are going through it. Aside from that, do you have any other events coming up?
I mean, we're going to do the Christmas, so that we don't really announce that, but we're gathering stuff for that. Patient care packages. Colleen Manzini is one of our other new board members. We're going to do patient care packages for cancer patients, and she's going to include some of the beauty counter products, which are clean products. So that'll be really nice. And so we're excited about that. And they'll also have a space to actually, you know, gather, you know, the patient care packages together. So you'll be, you know, we'll be definitely keeping you in touch, and so you can actually learn more. But we're just very excited as to what's going on or what's going to be happening. And, you know, we're probably going to do like a besties brunch next year. And so there's a lot of cool things, everyone pulling together different ideas and just, you know, trying to expand and help cancer patients the best we can. So
That's great. And on your own personal journey, what would you say is the most positive thing you got out of your experience?
my cancer experience?
Yes.
I think I value each day more. My perspective has shifted where I was actually working, not taking time for myself. So self-care, self-love are very, very important, but appreciating the people in your circle and, you know, letting them know that you love them every day, because you don't really know when you're going to lose somebody. So I think that's the biggest thing that I have learned, to value your friendships, value your family, and, you know, live each day for the best, you know, for the most you can. Because, you know, when you're going through cancer and you can't do things, you know, I'm trying to make up for those type of things. So,
Yeah, I'm sure. What about you, Linda?
Well, I've always said I certainly wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Correct.
But the positive that I took from it was all the wonderful people that I met because of my diagnosis that I probably wouldn't have met otherwise.
Correct.
And some of the strongest, most courageous, kindest people, again, that I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet otherwise. So I am thankful for that. It, you know, it pushed me into, you know, again, becoming more involved in things, but just the experience of meeting all these wonderful people that I've met.
Yeah, I call them my angels, because when you're going through a difficult time, and being a nurse, and I know she's a background in nursing, but you're always giving, and so being a care receiver is very, very difficult. So when you're out there, and then you have these nurses and people that work in the hospital, you know, it could be housekeeping, it could be, you know, dietary, but they're so kind, and they're just, they approach you, and they just have such kind words. And everyone I feel that you know, touched my life made a difference. Because if they weren't there to show that positivity, I probably would have been in a darker place. So, but yes, it's so nice, and it's interesting how your road goes, or how your paths go, or sometimes they cross with good things. So, you know, that's kind of like why I started Face2Face Healing. I was looking for something, there was a gap, and a nurse case manager, I was filling that gap and filling that void. And so connecting healthcare providers and connecting patients and caregivers, and trying to make sure that those gaps in care are not for other people. And so, you know, the other thing is Linda shares her story, because I think sometimes being able to hear someone who got through the bad times is good.
It's helpful.
Very, very helpful. So,
Wow.
I think you can relate more to the patients. I mean, like you said, the unique thing about this organization is we've all been touched by cancer. So speaking to the patients is a bit easier because we've been there.
yeah.
You know, it's one thing, even as a nurse, to take care of the people, but if you haven't been there yourself, there's still that little gap. It's, you know, but you know, having been through it, it helps that you can talk to people, and I have had some younger women that have been diagnosed with cancer that, you know, were like friends of somebody I knew, and they said, would you mind talking to her? She's really having a hard time. And I'm like, yeah, here's my phone number. Ever give me a call. And so, you know, doing things like that, you know, again, I've been there, I get it. You know, how can I help you through this?
How can I make you feel better today?
Let me help you get through this. And, you know, even though I know you know, feel like you're you know, that you're dying, you're not. But you know, you just have those days where it's like you can't hardly crawl out of bed.
Right.
And if you can help somebody through that day and say, okay, you're going to be better tomorrow. I promise. You're not going to feel like this forever.
Yeah.
And if you can just, you know, help them get through that. And I find it's more difficult with younger people.
It is.
It's
Because
way more difficult with younger
they
people.
think it's going to always be this way, and it's very difficult. But yes, but you know, like she was talking before about the stages of grief. It's the life you had before is now gone.
Yeah.
You know, and now you have to create a new life with all the restrictions or changes. And you know, I like to use the analogy of you know, you work so hard for your life puzzle, and then bomb goes off, and then those pieces are now missing. So you have to fill the void with different pieces. And so you're struggling to find, and some people do turn to like negative influences, but you know, it's trying to find those positive things. And there's three really big components for healing. It's mind, body, spirit. And so when you're looking at those three things, and you actually can be able to pull yourself back together and have like a complete puzzle. So it's just very, very nice to have that.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I
Yeah.
can only imagine, especially if a younger person gets diagnosed and they've been floating on life's good graces.
Right.
You know, they don't have their hip pain yet like I do. Linda can relate. So I have hip pain.
Well, sometimes they don't have the tools in their toolbox, I like to call it too, to actually move through adversity.
Their emotional preparedness too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I don't believe so. I think we covered everything.
I think we did. I can't think of
Hopefully
anything.
we get people down to your event. It's November
The 10th,
the 10th, small 3rd Street Gallery
3rd Street Gallery, yes.
in Carnegie.
Correct.
Okay, I got it. And we will be sharing the details out via social media so you guys can find out more. You can follow Face2Face Healing on their website, social media. Please donate. Please give back if you can. And if this is important to you, get involved. I'm
Yes.
sure Karen and Linda would love to see you guys involved and helping them make a difference.
Correct.
Absolutely.
We would. It's something that has become my passion. That, you know, helping others has kind of been my secret to healing, so to speak. As you're moving through, it's just really nice.
Good. Well,
So.
thank you both for coming on. Thank you for sharing your own journeys, and thanks for helping others with theirs.
Well,
You
thank
make
you
a
for
big
having-
difference.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us today.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Both of you ladies. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of the Southwestern PA Business Podcast with the Southwest Regional Chamber of Commerce. We thank Face2Face Healing for coming on today, sharing their experiences and helping so many people out there. And also a shout out to Linda Long for her Woman of the Year 2022 she received last year. So thanks for watching, and we look forward to another episode coming up soon.